We are Virginia Beach Fire Department, Explorer Post 343.
Welcome to this edition of Virginia Beach Frontline Firefighter.
Here's what's coming up on this edition of Virginia Beach Frontline Firefighter. Possibly coming to a bed near you. The attack of the bed bug. That's right. We'll bring you a very important segment dealing with those little parasitic insects. Have you ever heard of cataplexy? Master Firefighter Greg Vogel talks to former Channel 13 weatherman Dr. Dwayne Harding about this unique condition. On Safety Stand Down, Master Firefighter Ned Lowry reinforces the need to wash your hands before and after any patient contact. On SCBA Checklist, David Stites is back with another informative segment about stored air cylinders. We've got a rundown of the new ATV from the Oceana Volunteer Fire Department. Target heart rate is what's coming up on Herb West's Fitness Forum. And finally, we'll take a look back over the past year of Frontlines and bring you some of the most memorable, including some hilarious outtakes. I'm Master Firefighter Tom Parks, and here's your host of Virginia Beach Frontline Firefighter, Master Firefighter Chris Stockhouse.
Thanks, Tom. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our last program of 2013. I think you'll all agree that over the past year, we have covered an enormous amount of training, and this program is no exception. Our first segment deals with bed bugs. Yes, I said bed bugs. We've all heard of them infesting hotels and other institutions, as well as homes. But these little bloodsuckers have no problem calling your fire station home. Hear now how you can identify them and ways to keep these blood-sucking insects from contaminating your bunk room.
Hello, I'm Battalion Chief Deborah Gaudette with the Virginia Beach Fire Department Health and Safety Office. Bed bugs have been discovered in fire stations in at least one of our surrounding cities.
Firefighters at 2 Norfolk stations are battling a bad case of itchy bugs.
Crews at 2 stations in the city have been forced out of their sleeping quarters this month after bed bugs were discovered. Now the department tells investigative reporter Nick Oxner it's working to fix the problem.
The apparatus bays here at Station 1 are full of bagged up gear. Why? Because bed bugs has moved in to the sleeping quarters here at this fire department. Now firefighters are having to take extra measures to get rid of those itchy pests. These days, the firefighters at Engine 1 in Norfolk are running by bags of their stuff to hop in their trucks and race to a call. They've been forced out of their sleeping quarters by bed bugs.
We kind of quickly tried to, head this problem off.
Chief Julian Williamson says the bugs were spotted at Station 1 over the weekend. The same problem was found at Station 13 in Ocean View earlier this month. Now, the department is tearing up the stations to get rid of the crawly creatures.
Down here at Station 1, we did have to remove some carpet. We did have to remove and replace the furniture that was inside the bunk rooms upstairs.
The work at both stations is expected to take weeks to finish. In the meantime, firefighters at Station 13 have set up cots in their apparatus bay. And now, Williamson says, the department's looking at how to stop the bugs from spreading elsewhere.
We will take certain precautions, limit the amount of equipment that we may take into the structure, the residence, or where we may be going at.
Now, the fix to get rid of these bed bugs comes with a price. I'll tell you about that coming up at 6. For now, reporting in Norfolk, Nick Oxner, 13 News Now.
It is my pleasure to introduce Angela Sowers. Angela is with the Virginia Department of Health and will be discussing basic information and some control measures on the prevention of bed bugs.
Thank you, Chief Gaudette. Bed bugs continue to be a rising problem throughout the United States and have become a national media sensation overnight. They can be found anywhere people travel or live. Increases in international travel, pesticide resistance, and other factors have played a significant role in the resurgence of bed bugs. In more recent years, bed bugs continue to be found in public facilities as well as commercial businesses and homes.
What are bed bugs? The scientific name for the bed bug is Simix lectularius. Bed bugs are parasitic insects that feed on blood similar to a tick or a mosquito. These arthropods are nocturnal, meaning they are most active in the evening. During the day, will hide in any available crack and crevice close to their food source, which is you. Generally, you will find them close to sleeping quarters or other areas where people are still for periods of time, such as a recliner or couch. An adult bed bug is usually reddish-brown in color and looks similar to an apple seed in color, size, and appearance. However, earlier life stages can vary in appearance and size. Eggs are white with a waxy coating about the size of a pencil point, which makes them very difficult to see. Fortunately, these insects are not known to spread disease, but certainly have become quite the nuisance.
The cost of dealing with bed bugs could affect you in many ways. Allergic reactions to bites could lead to a more serious medical condition. Lack of sleep can affect you personally and professionally. Cost of ongoing pest control treatment can range in the hundreds, if not thousands of dollars.
According to the National Pest Management Association, 76% of pest control treatments nationally are for management of bed bugs. Of that 76%, 98% of those treatments are for residential dwellings to include apartments, condominiums, and single-family homes.
Bed bugs can travel unnoticed with you from home to the fire station and vice versa. We are on the scene of everyday Virginia Beach citizen at one of the many EMS calls Fire and Rescue will be running today. Let's step inside and see what's going on.
He just fell, it just was on the bed, and he just fell out.
Bed bugs are stealthy travelers. Their size and shape allows them to travel without notice. These small creatures crawl onto or into articles to hitch a ride to their next destination. Most often they go unnoticed. Let's take a look at some areas they may be hiding.
Observe your surroundings. Just as the officer's awareness is heightened for other hazards, he or she should take a look around for signs of infestation. Did you notice red bumps when the IV was started? Other signs of bed bug infestation can include fecal material, which appears as black spotting. Or you may even see blood spots from bites on bedding.
Now let's take a look where these guys might hitch a ride. In a heavy infestation, bed bugs may ride in the folds of a person's clothing. More likely, adult bed bugs will crawl onto bags or even shoes.
What can we do to minimize our risk of fire station infestation? Inspect yourselves and take a moment to brush off your clothes and shoes before climbing into the rig. The second step toward prevention is regular station inspection. Incorporating a weekly inspection program can help alleviate infestations. These inspections will be incorporated into your normal Saturday routine. Special attention will be paid to the bunk rooms and the day rooms.
Taking a few moments to inspect your surroundings might make a difference in preventing a larger problem for you, your workplace, or your home. The following areas should be inspected often. Using a flashlight, carefully inspect the mattress and box spring for signs of bed bug activities. You may check in and around the bed frame and headboard. Small cracks and crevices should be monitored. Remember, bed bugs like to hide, so carefully inspect connecting boards, screw holes, or other areas. These insects can also hide in and around these areas: edges of carpeting, baseboards, and even electrical sockets. Be sure to check other furnishings such as nightstands, lampshades, and curtains. Visually inspect all areas where articles are stored. Bed bugs will seek out a place to hide after arrival.
Additionally, we need to change our personal habits. If your backpack or other personal belongings won't fit in your locker, hang them on hooks or store them in a plastic bin. Also, and most of us are already doing this, all bedding will be stored in sealed plastic bins. As part of your Saturday routine, all bunks and furniture will be moved and vacuumed under and around. The simplest way to accomplish this is to inspect the area and then vacuum it. Pull the items out, inspect the areas as Angela has shown you, and then vacuum it. This video is intended to raise your awareness and start putting some prevention efforts in place. Further information will follow in the form of SOPs and through other resources. If you ever see signs of infestation or have any questions, please contact me at the information listed below. I would like to extend a very special thank you to Angela Sowers and Val Thompson of the Virginia Department of Health. The help, information, and time they have provided has been immense. It's been a pleasure working with them.
Chief Caudette, thank you for allowing me to meet with you today to give a heightened awareness of bed bugs and some preventative steps that may keep you from scratching in the night. If you have any further questions, you may contact me at the information listed on the screen.
Have you ever heard of a condition called cataplexy? It's a rare disease which causes some patients to be fully conscious but paralyzed. A large percentage of people with narcolepsy can suffer the same effects of this condition. Next up, Master Firefighter Greg Vogel talks to a patient who might be very familiar to some of you that suffers from cataplexy.
Thanks, Howie. I'm Master Firefighter Greg Vogel here today with you might recognize him, weatherman, Dr. Dwayne Harding. We're going to discuss a condition known as cataplexy and try to raise some awareness on that issue. So, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Can you just go ahead and describe what is cataplexy?
Cataplexy is a condition that some people with narcolepsy get. The hallmark of narcolepsy is excessive daytime sleepiness.
Correct.
Just sleepy all day. And there is one symptom, however, that a small fraction of people with narcolepsy have, and I get that, is cataplexy.
Okay.
And cataplexy is, you've seen a sleeping dog, and they're acting out their dreams.
Mm-hmm.
People don't do that. Your brain will automatically shut down your muscles so you don't act out your dreams. And cataplexy is the brain doing that at the wrong time. And so it shuts down my muscles. And most of the time it might be just, I might muffle a word or lean against a wall and people don't notice it. But then I have, I'm one of the rare people who has the full fall down to the floor narcolepsy.
Okay. So there's different degrees
yes.
of a cataplectic event.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay. You said as little as weak knees or a loose jaw or muffling words all the way to a full, you appear to be unconscious, laying in what do you call it, a cataplexis state.
Right.
So, and can you describe that, in that state, what are you experiencing?
Well, first of all, I'm conscious.
Okay.
And, you know, I thought I was crazy for a while because I'm lying there and I can't move. You know, I should just be able to get up and go, but I cannot move at all.
So you're paralyzed, but you can hear?
I can
so you
hear.
Can hear everything going on.
I can hear.
Move. Now, how long does an event like that last for you?
For most people, it lasts just a few seconds.
Okay.
But for me, it has progressed to where it goes on for 20 minutes or more.
Wow.
And longer than that, I'll fall asleep, perhaps.
So what triggers an episode for you?
It depends on the person. Some people do it laughing. I've had a Marx Brothers movie when I kept falling off the couch before I was diagnosed. But for me, the biggest trigger is startle.
Okay.
For example, the most worrisome thing is flashbulb in a dark room. You know, I always try to sit in the back, but for some reason people think a flashbulb will project 100 feet away, and that surprise, well, I just drop to the floor.
So your big trigger is startling. Other people, it might be laughing too hard, which you said that does occur with you as well.
Or just excitement.
Or just excitement.
They breed dogs
to
study narcolepsy, and you can see these videos of little puppies, and they bring out the puppy food, and these poor little puppies, they're so excited they keep falling down and getting up, and it's so sad to see them.
It is. When you're in an event like this, and when you're in that cataplectic state, what are some frustrations for you? Obviously, you're paralyzed. You know, the frustrations, I know you said you've been mistaken as faking. You've, you know, so people have gone that route and they've put ammonia capsules in your nose. I know since that, you told me about that event, you wear a bracelet now, and that bracelet, you know, is a medical bracelet that shows that says you have a condition known as cataplexy, and then you also carry a wallet card. Now, is that common for everybody to do that, or is that something unique for yourself, or Is it encouraged to wear something like that?
People with cataplexy are encouraged to wear this. I got this because of an episode in Florida. I was down there after a hurricane, and I was in a Red Cross shelter for 3 weeks. And the biggest problem, why I'm here today, is that when you start working on me, you know, you come in, people see me and they think I've had a stroke or something.
Or a seizure.
Or a seizure. And so naturally you do what you're trained to do.
Right.
But then that becomes one episode after another, and it's called status cataplecticus.
So you can
that can last for hours.
Wow. So when you're in this state, the more you stay stressed, that could actually push you into that status condition where you just keep going until somebody just finally leaves you alone and gives you that 15, 20 minutes that you need just to let your body come out of it yourself.
Right.
So going back to some do's and don'ts for us as first responders, I mean, we see you're lying on the floor, appear to be completely unconscious, not responding to anything we're doing.
Right.
What are some do's and don'ts for us? Obviously, we're going to take vitals.
Right.
You know,
that's comforting to me.
Comforting, good.
Yeah.
Talking to you. In your instance, we've seen you can at least start to sit up and communicate, you know, by shaking your head yes or no, you know, on some things before you can actually start speaking again. Other people, you know, if we run across somebody without a bracelet, you know, they're more than likely going to, you know, put them on a stretcher and take them for a ride to the hospital and do everything we need to do. But so do's and don'ts, you said vitals are good, obviously comforting. What are some things that, you know, obviously ammonia stresses you out.
Right.
We don't have that anymore. But
I have been intubated, shot up with radioactive stuff to check my heart. And,
just complete
and so
misunderstanding of your situation.
For 3 days I was in a hospital because for some reason the last thing that returns is the ability to talk. And so I can't explain to anybody. I'm just sit there paralyzed.
My understanding of this and learning a little bit more, you know, prior to doing this interview here with you, is that's a big problem, is misunderstanding the condition. One, either in the diagnosis in the early stages, they, you know, will diagnose as depression, and from that point on, then you might just be, you know, labeled as a psych patient and think you're faking these incidents and stuff like that.
I was put in a psych ward for 3 weeks, and they finally said there's nothing wrong with you.
Right.
But part of the problem is that, you know, different professions use, well, we use the same words, but we mean something different.
Sure.
And I kept telling physicians that I was tired all the time. And they said, well, if you're tired, that means you're depressed. And it wasn't until I lost my job that I went to a neurologist and I said, okay, now I'm depressed. But when you're depressed, you fall asleep in the shower. And for the first time, I used the word sleepy instead of tired.
That was the word that clued them into, this is a sleep disorder,
right?
And not, you know.
And I also kept telling them that when I got stressed, like at work or anything, if I had to make a decision, like which peanut butter I was supposed to buy, she didn't specify, I got weird and I couldn't articulate it. But after I was diagnosed, I started a support group. And a woman came up with the word rubbery. Now, if I had thought of that when I was 15, they would have diagnosed me right away.
Right. Well, going back, I guess, just some things for us, just for the first responders, just remembering that, you know, a person that's laying there unconscious, you know, might be conscious. And, you know, to talk to your patient and still explain what you're doing. You know, I'm starting some vitals, I'm going to take your blood pressure, I'm going to check your blood sugar, you know, things like that is very helpful, and not to forget.
Yeah, just check the vitals and then lie down and have a nap with me, you know, keep me company.
Well, thank you for coming by today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Because I've had, you know, when I have one of these in a public place or in a city property, even though my card says do not call 911,
sure.
They are required to.
Absolutely.
And that makes me feel bad that I'm taking up your time, and somebody else may need your help.
This is our job. This is what we do. So, well, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Helping us bring a little bit of awareness to this, and hopefully it gives some good information to the people out there in the field. And if you ever run across this, just remember that, you know, it might not always be a stroke. It might not always be somebody that just had a fainting spell or had a seizure. You know, you might have a person that's completely conscious, and just remember to talk to them, tell them what you're doing. And in his case, you know, give him the 15 minutes and he'll come out of it, you know, and then refuse care. So, but thank you again. Thank you again, Dr. Wayne Harding. It's been a pleasure.
Wash your hands, clean under your fingernails. How many times have you heard that coming from your parents? Well, it's a simple yet vital and effective step we, as first responders, can do to protect ourselves when coming into contact with patients. Here are a few tips you need to incorporate into every call you respond to.
Speaking on behalf of the Safety Committee, I want to talk a little bit on the importance of hand washing. It goes without saying that hand washing helps to prevent spreading germs and getting your coworkers sick. The goal of this segment is to emphasize proper hand hygiene. Keeping hands clean through improved hand hygiene is one of the most important steps we can take to avoid getting sick and spreading germs to others. Many diseases and conditions are spread by not washing hands with soap and clean running water. If soap and water are unavailable, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Let's review how to properly wash your hands. First, wet your hands with clean running water, warm or cold, and apply soap. Next, rub your hands together to make a lather and scrub them well. Be sure to scrub the back of your hands, between your fingers, and under your nails. Continue rubbing your hands for at least 20 seconds. Rinse your hands well under running water. Dry your hands using a clean towel or air dry them. Washing your hands with soap and water is obviously the best way to reduce the number of germs. But if soap and water are not available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol. Alcohol-based hand sanitizers can quickly reduce the number of germs on hands in most cases. Please note, hand sanitizers do not eliminate all germs. On EMS calls, we should practice consistent hand hygiene to disrupt the transmission of germs by cleaning hands after patient contact and after contact with blood, body fluids, or contaminated surfaces, even if gloves are worn. Once you're done on an EMS call and you're returning the equipment to the compartment on the truck, take time to use a Vial-Nex towel to clean your hands. It's also a good idea to keep them in your fanny pack. Remember, one of the most common ways of spreading germs is touching your nose, mouth, or eyes. The simple act of washing your hands can help prevent such illnesses as the common cold and flu. When you're on shift again, try this challenge. Count how many times you touch your face. You'll be amazed, and then ask yourself, are your hands clean? Thank you for tuning in on this month's Safety Stand Down. Remember, be prepared, be safe, look out for one another. I'm Master Firefighter Ned Lowry.
Up next, we take a look at the new ATV courtesy of the Oceana Volunteer Fire Department. Here's Chief Richardson with all the details.
My name is Wayne Richardson. I'm the Volunteer Battalion Chief here in the city of Virginia Beach, and I'm also the Fire Chief of the Oceana Volunteer Fire Department. The Oceana Volunteer Fire Department recently purchased a 2013 Cub Cadet. We recently purchased this vehicle in support of the operations of the Virginia Beach Fire Department to better assist them in fighting brush fires and handling their beach events. I'm going to introduce Steve Kennedy, who's going to go ahead and speak on behalf of the Oceana Volunteer Fire Department and the Volunteer Battalion staff on the operation, capabilities, and the things associated with the Cub Cadet.
Hello, my name is Steve Kennedy with the Oceana Volunteer Fire Department here in the city of Virginia Beach, also part of the Volunteer Battalion staff with the Virginia Beach Fire Department. I'm here to talk to you today about the new piece of equipment we've purchased to assist the efforts of the Virginia Beach Fire Department, and that is our 2013 Cub Cadet. It is an ATV type vehicle equipped with a skid mount for fighting brush fires. It'll be used for assisting in those limited access fires where we have access to the fire with our brush trucks and so forth. It's also going to be used for special events throughout the city, to include Monsters on the Beach, the Strawberry Festival, and the various marathons, the 4th of July fireworks. Utility 8 will be the primary towing vehicle, with Utility 30 as a backup. It will be towed by a trailer that we have purchased. The training program that we have in place will be headed by our volunteer organization with the assistance of the training staff. Anybody who is going to be towing this trailer and operating the vehicle will be trained to tow the trailer, and they'll also be training here in-house to operate the Cub Cadet, so everybody will be familiar to how to operate this thing before they take it out the door. Check-off of the unit will be the responsibility of the volunteer organization here at the station. The only responsibility that the career staff will have is to make sure that the unit starts every morning, but the responsibility for check-off will be solely on the volunteer organization. The primary responsibility for getting this vehicle to the scene and operating the unit will fall on the volunteers with our organization, to include the volunteer support techs, who will be trained in basic brush fire fighting techniques, which is in line with the new SOP, allowing them to do so. It's equipped with a 9 horsepower pump. It'll put out 120 PSI, which is more than enough to get water on the fire. We actually have done some tests with this, and it'll supply 2 lines with plenty of firefighting capability. Of course, we're only limited by the 70 gallons of water that are that are carried on the unit, but we do have the ability to establish a water supply, and there'll also be some soft suction on here, so we could draft this if needed. And here's our storage area where we carry the 200-foot of forestry hose, along with we have named a POC foam kit, which has the nozzle in it, along with the foam sticks. It's similar to what we have on our brush truck, the only difference being that these are 15 gallon per minute nozzles because of the size of the pump versus 20 gallon per minute nozzles, which are on the brush truck. Training to operate the vehicle will be fall on in-house with the volunteer organization with the assistance of the career staff. We've been conducting training and getting all our people qualified to operate this, as well as the career side of the house.
I hope this video has given you some insight into the operation capabilities and the purpose of Oceana's all-terrain vehicle. We hope to use this vehicle and put it into service after the first of the year. If you have any questions, please be sure to email me at wrichard@vbgov.com or give me a call at 496-6740 here at Company 8. Thank you.
There are some important OSHA regulations regarding the handling and maintenance of stored air cylinders. Here now is David Stites with his SCBA checklist.
Breathing air cylinders in storage or set aside for emergency use fall under specific OSHA requirements regarding fill pressures. These cylinders could be the 30-minute bottles in your storage closet, your 60-minute drag bag bottle, the 1-hour bottles on the hazmat truck, or platform ladder's large air cylinder. OSHA 1910.134, self-contained breathing apparatus shall be inspected monthly. Air and oxygen cylinders shall be maintained in a fully charged state and shall be recharged when the pressure falls to 90% of the manufacturer's recommended pressure level. Each time we test the regulator and low pressure alarm on the SCBAs so as to comply with OSHA and the manufacturer inspection requirements, we use up a small amount of air. Over several months of inspection and testing, it's only logical that the air pressure in the bottle will be reduced. OSHA has set the minimum air pressure for storage cylinders at 90% of the manufacturer's recommended pressure level. This means that we will have to continue to top off our cylinders a few times a month or year, even if they are never used. Yes, this includes the large bottles on the side of the platform ladder trucks. The 90% level was selected to ensure that sufficient air remains in the cylinder to allow emergency responders to perform their required duties in a contaminated or oxygen-deficient atmosphere and still have sufficient air available to escape from these conditions. The 90% level and the requirement that these cylinders are recharged once the pressure falls below 90% was also recommended by the American Industrial Hygiene Association. Note, the inspection documentation for emergency use and storage-only respirators is different than respirators that are everyday use. Okay, we know how much air we're supposed to keep inside our cylinders at all times. Now, the seal cylinders, like those on the side of our platform ladder trucks, should have the air inside rotating annually according to NFPA 1910-2013 edition. If you have 30-minute or 1-hour SCBA cylinders that haven't been used in a year, slowly drain and refill those too. Please, do not store empty ladder cylinders, SCBA bottles, and especially empty medical oxygen cylinders that are waiting to be refilled with the cylinder valve in the open position. When the cylinder valve is in the open position, all kinds of nasty stuff, including moisture, are allowed to enter that open cylinder. Also, please remember to log all cylinder refills in the logbook at the compressor site so we can track each and every fill. This includes ladder, squad, salvage, truck refills. It's not only very important, it's also an OSHA requirement. Thank you for your attention.
Next up, my friend Herb puts his whole heart into this next episode of Herb West's Fitness Forum.
Today we're going to be talking about using a heart rate monitor in your exercise and training program. You may be training for a marathon and want to improve your time. You may be working on increasing your lactic acid threshold. You may be working on your VO2 max to improve it on your fitness assessment. Or you may be in a high intensity workout that you want to see just how high your heart rate is getting. Your heart rate monitor can be used in all of these. The first thing you're going to need to do when you're working with a heart rate monitor is establish a target heart rate zone. Now to do this, there are several formulas that we can use, but first we have to decide how high your zone should be. If you're a person who's overweight or hasn't trained a lot, you may want to stay at 60 to 75% of your maximum heart rate. If you're somebody who's been training pretty regularly, you may move that up to where you're doing 70 to 85% when you're training, of your maximum heart rate when you're training. If you're somebody who's trying to work on a high intensity program or improve their lactic acid threshold, you may actually move up to where you're doing 80, 95, or even 100% of your maximum heart rate. Now let's talk about the formulas we use for getting our target heart rates. First, we're going to look at the basic formula. Now, the basic formula is very simple. It would be 220 minus your age times the intensity that you plan to work at. In this case, we put an 85% intensity, and we're using an age of 25. So if we look at that, we would come out with a 85% heart rate of 166. The next formula we're going to talk about is the Corvonian formula. The advantage of the Corvonian formula is that it actually uses some actual status or facts from you, and that is your resting heart rate. So if you're going to do the Corvonian formula, you need to measure heart rate first thing in the morning before you get out of bed, and you're going to incorporate that into the formula. Now the Corvonian formula is simply your max heart rate, which is 220 minus your age, minus your resting heart rate, times the intensity which you wish to work at, which again we're going to use 85 and 25 for age, and then you reintroduce and re-add the resting heart rate. So if we look at a 25-year-old individual with a resting heart rate of 65 beats per minute, we would get 220 minus 25 equals 195 minus 65 heartbeats per minute times 85%, and then re-add 65 beats per minute. When you do this, your target heart rate will come out at 176 beats per minute for 85%. So you can see this is a little bit higher than the basic formula that we did. The next formula we're going to discuss is the Fitness and Wellness Initiative formula, which if you're training to improve your VO2 max test on your treadmill, this is the one we use, so this would be the one that you want to incorporate into your training. In this one, we're going to do two. We're going to do a high end and a low end and give you a target zone to be in. So the formula is 208 minus 0.7 times your age. In this case, we're using 25 years times your intensity, which we're using 85%. This would give us 191 times 0.85, which will equal 162 beats per minute for your high end of your target zone. Now we're going to do the low end. In the low end, we'll use the same formula, 208 minus 0.7 times 25 years times 0.70 intensity, or 70% of your maximum heart rate. If we look at the numbers, that would be 191 times 0.70, which equals 134 beats per minute. So your target rate zone on this one will be 134 to 162. So that's the formulas we're showing you today. You'll notice when you look at it that there is a variation in the numbers that you'll get using different formulas. If you need this information or you'd like this information written out, just email me and I'll get you a copy.
All of us here at Frontline would like to take this time to wish all of you and your families the happiest of holidays and thank you for watching this past year. Many people have put a lot of time, motivation, and dedication into bringing you the best training and information possible. We leave you now with a look at some of the highlights of this year's training segments and some of our less notable, but probably soon to be very memorable, outtakes in our attempts to deliver the best programs we could throughout the year. But before we get to those highlights and bloopers, a quick note about next month's program. With the holidays in full swing, the temptation to overeat just a wee bit will be in high gear. Last winter I got a tremendous amount of positive feedback on my weight loss, and a lot of you said my gut was somehow inspiring, or the losing of it, I suppose. Well, it's a new year.
Yes, it is a new year, Howie, and we here at Frontline aren't letting you off the hook. This is no time to slack off, and you still have plenty of areas to improve on. And from the looks of it, you've slipped a little. No excuses, just listen. Many said it couldn't be done, but he did it. They said he couldn't go from this to this, but he did. Now it's time for Howie's Frontline Challenge Part 2. We want to make Howie lighter, stronger, and faster than ever. The challenge, can he go from this to this? Don't let us down, Howie.
Wow, at least you're not asking too much. All righty then. I guess a lot of motivation is going to be required once again. I gotta say, friends, how in the world I can get in that kind of shape is truly beyond me. Breaking news. Amateurs, this just in. Goals for Howie to achieve the bod of a god. Who wrote that?
You did, Howie.
Oh. Anyways, tip the scales at 170 pounds or less. Be able to do 35 continuous pull-ups, over 35 hanging crunches, 100 continuous push-ups. So much for making it easy. Oh, and just to make sure you keep that ever important as you middle-aged folks grow older cardio output in high gear, we want you to run the mile in less than 7 minutes. Yeah, right. I'll tell you what, I accept. Well then, if they're challenging me, I'm throwing it out to you as well. Join me again this year and let's get more fit together. I've put my gut, still smaller as it may be from last year, out on camera yet again. It seems to be what helps motivate me. Let's find out what helps motivate you. This time they've obviously put more emphasis on physical training as well as cardio, but still not letting me slip from weight loss. The time frame will be the same as last year, January 1st to May 1st, 16 weeks. So who's going to join me? I'll be over 49 years old when this challenge is over, assuming I'm still alive, so no excuses to you younger guys and gals. None of this requires the joining of a gym, so again, no excuses. Let's shrink the size of this department and be the best fit department in the country. So watch what you eat or don't, but make this upcoming year the year you get more healthy for you, your family, and your department. Remember, the life you save may be the crew member you're sitting next to right now. It's all about finding out what motivates you the most. Remember, especially now, if you take the Howie Frontline Challenge, Motivation is a requirement for success, not failure. And to add to that, failure only requires excuses. Wish me luck again, and I to you as well. Let's do the absolute best we can and motivate each other. Well, that's just about it. From Chief Jack Crandall and the entire frontline staff here at the Fire Training Center, have a safe and fantastic new year, and we all hope to see a lot less of all of you in 2014. Enjoy the following. I got a lot of work to do.
I think I'll start smaller. So,
enjoy the program.
Thanks a lot, Howie. We wish you the best of luck in the new year. As you know, all of us here at Frontline work day in, day out to bring you a world-class training program. Here's a quick look back at some of the many topics we've covered throughout the year. Pretty cool, right? You know, as hard as we try to keep a bunch of firefighters on task when the cameras are rolling, sometimes things go a little sideways. Here's a quick look back at some of our less than memorable moments. I'm rolling.
Clear.
Go.
Move away from the engines, guy. Push yourself off.
Oh, but that is my man's bike.
Okay,
Why?
Singing in the rain.
I'm sorry, Bob.
It's all right.
Okay. 3, 2.
Hold on, Chief. Can you?
Yeah.
Looks like you're still glaring. Do I need to make it bigger?
No, I'm fine.
You can see it? Okay.
Yeah, I can see it. 3, 2, 1.
Can I do it this way? Are you going to have any of that music in the background? Cool. Give it a little energy.
And here we go.
3, 2, 1. Hey, we're on camera. With this edition of Tech Rescue Minute, I'm Master Firefighter Mike Kellerh. If you have any questions, please feel free to call me. I don't know why I can't get that out.
Your position.
Go ahead, Herb.
He's not recording.
Yeah,
He's just.
I just need this for the.
Okay.
He's not.
Herb Mayer, M-A-H-E-R, safety specialist.
And safety specialist for the city of Virginia.
Do you want me to do it all over again?
No, I can
Do it. Get it straight. Spell it.
Herb Mayer, M-A-H-E-R, safety specialist. You want me to spell specialist? You all cannot do that?
No, we can spell specialist.
Okay.
We got a dictionary.
Human Resources, Occupational Safety.
City of Virginia Beach.
City of Virginia Beach, Virginia. That's in the United States of America.
3,
That's on the East
2,
Coast.
1.
3, 2, 1. Today we were going to talk about the intake relief valves, but we decided to change that. Today we have Master Firefighter Bob Oshner, who's going to go over seatbelt maintenance and the proper care of them. Who loves you, Bob?
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Elena Mullins, and this is my sister Samantha. And you're watching Virginia Beach Frontline Firefighter.
That's all right. Hold the spot. We'll go right back into it. We need bloopers too. So. I've
You are the blooper dad.
That sounds good. And we're going to do the 3, 2, 1 thing. Where you know what I'm talking about. 3, 2, 1, a little pause, and then go for it. Okay, you're looking right at the camera, and here we go.
You didn't say 3, 2, 1.
No,
You have to say 3, 2, 1.
You say
Roll with it. And your count ready when you are?
3, 2, 1. This is Eric Simons. Cut it from there. Okay. Firefighter. 3, 2, 1. This is Firefighter Eric Simons coming from your 16 house. Welcome. This is Eric Simons. Jeez.
One more time, and I'm going to try to get you to say, welcome to this month's edition.
Oh, okay. Welcome to this month's. Okay. 3, 2, 1. This is Firefighter Eric Simons coming from the 16 house, and welcome to this month's edition of Virginia Beach Frontline Firefighter. Oh, so close. 3, 2, 1. This is Firefighter Eric Simons coming to you from the 16 house, and welcome. This is Eric Simons coming to you from the 16 house. Welcome to this month's edition of Virginia Beach Frontline Firefighter.
And it's a wrap. All right.
This is still the warm-up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Darn, I was going to say I can handle this.
When transporting the expectant mother, the importance of position of transport doesn't usually become significant until the 3rd trimester.
Okay, right.
All right, 3.
And 1 second.
No,
1 second.
I'm ready now.
No, see, I have to be rolling first.
Well,
here we
that
go.
sounds like a problem on
It
your
is.
end.
It
The
is.
talent's rolling.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna read it like that.
I am rolling.
What did that say?
Oh, shoot, I'm not even.
Oh, you're not even ready. Oh, jeez. Oh, boy. Hey, we got a continuity problem, Bob, just because we're updating the September news updates. I've got a haircut.
It'll be fine.
Okay, Stuart, now you can get up and walk around. Walk in front of the desk.
I don't think that's going to fly. Well, that about does it for 2013. On the outside chance you missed a month of Frontline, you can watch previous episodes on our YouTube channel. Also, like us on Facebook and check us out on Twitter. On behalf of everyone here at Virginia Beach Frontline Firefighter, have a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year. Thanks for watching. Also, like us on Facebook and check us out on Twitter. On behalf of everyone here at Virginia Beach Frontline Firefighter, have a happy, I forgot the firefighter part. In my mind, I'm working for PBS's Frontline. 3, 2, 1. Well, that about does it for 2013. On the outside chance you missed a month of Frontline, you can watch previous episodes on our airplane going over our head.
Keep them in the sky.
Exactly.
It's the sound of freedom.
Okay, here we go.
Hi, I'm former President George W. Bush. All right.
Still rolling.
Whew. Ready?
Yep.
That's it for 2013. On the outside chance you missed a month of Frontline, you can watch previous episodes on our YouTube channel. YouTube channel. I just said YouTube channel. 3, 2, 1. Well, that about does it for 2013. On the outside chance you missed a month of Frontline, you can watch previous episodes on our YouTube channel. Also, check us out on Facebook and like us on...
You know, we're going to have a full screen.
I flipped it. I flipped the script.
We're going to have a full
3. We got to do this, man. I feel off my game this morning. I didn't have a banana. I have a banana every morning, and I didn't have one. It's screwing me up. Christoph, give me a banana.
Can we do one more?
Can I say thanks for watching at the end? Thanks for watching.
Of course you can.
Thanks for watching. Should I walk away? Can we get a shot of me walking away?
I
Going.
think you should just stay right there.
Just walking into the bathroom?
That's it.
Is that it?